I know how to shoot, I know how to fight. I tell you once, I'll tell you twice. I'm real discreet.
YouTube, what's happening? What's happening? Yeah, come on in, man. Let's go. I think that one was up. Oh, that's what that was. All right, we back. What's happening? Yeah, man, it's getting tricky, man. Hey, catch it though, right? Man, I'm talking about nigga. Man, you know what I'm saying? Nigga throwing elbows to the game, man. Let me just say this, right? Man, you gotta be careful on what you let fly out your mouth, man. You feel me? The wrong shit, man, might offend your dog, man. It might hurt one of your loved ones out here, man. We gotta really start like watch how we approach every situation, bro. And just off the dribble, let me just say this too, right? We came too far, bro, to crash out. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of y'all don't even realize, like, nigga, look at all them wars you made it through. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us made it through some wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, like, you know, thugging through them streets, though, on that blacktop, though. You know what I'm saying? That rock bottom, right? And I'm sitting back, and I'm like, man, you know, you got to stop hanging around people that want to, you know, kick it with liars. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Stand on your own 10. Stand on your one, too. You know what I'm saying? We got Big U. We got BRICC, baby, co-defendant. Bus, man, take a plea deal, man. So before we go to the docks, right, we got to go back, man. We got to go down that rabbit hole, man, because you got to look at what's going on, man. See, by him taking a plea deal, a lot of speculation is definitely going to hit the airwaves, cuz, right? So when I'm looking at it, this is extremely bad because, yeah, he don't have, if you took a plea deal, right, gun trafficking, right, they got you selling guns to BRICC, baby. You see what I'm saying? Now, they don't have to put it in the docs. So everybody's saying it's going to be, oh, it would be in there right now. Nah. They could be waiting on a special circumstance with BRICC baby's defense. You see what I'm saying? It's so bad because how you get caught with all them guns and you get 5 years? Come on, they don't just give you no plea deal just for you to cop to it, man. It's the feds. They already had you. Dead bang. So let's go down the rabbit hole and let's see what's going on. Then we gonna fly back over so we can see the plea deal that boy Bus took, man. So come on, man. Let's fall into it, man. Shout out to everybody. Pull it up. We got 100 people in here. All right, we good to go. All right, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go.
Possession of controlled substances, 1 in 2012, 1 in 2014. Criminal threats in 2016. And a robbery in 2020. This is what made him guilty in possession of these weapons. Now, again, that's count 1 on his indictment. Count 2 are the weapons themselves. Knowingly possessing firearms and ammunition, again, each affecting interstate and or foreign commerce. This is where they allege that on June 23rd, 2023, a year after the shooting that he did in a parking lot, he was caught in possession of 3 weapons, a 380, a 9, and a Hell Pup 5.56. So BRICC baby had that shit on him. But not only are they going to charge him with the weapons, they're going to charge him with the 133 rounds of ammunition that he also carried along with the guns. But the key thing that's going on with BRICC baby right now is that they're linking him with another co-defendant that went down on Operation Drawdown, Christian Forbes, aka Bus, another member from Rolling 60s. So the reason that BRICC baby and Bus are merging together is because the feds allege that the cases rise out of the same conspiracy, common scheme, transaction, or series of transactions and events. And they stated that both cases charge firearm offenses arising from the same investigation into the neighborhood Rolling 60s, which both of these defendants are from. And it said that both indictments rely on evidence that ultimately led to a Title III wiretap in a separate case on several Rolling 60 telephones, including Zaire Mitchell, BRICC baby. And they stated that the FBI.
If you have 700 plus credits.
Plans to arrest both defendants on the same date as part of the Rolling 60s takedown, and the common discovery will be produced in the cases. And this is what leads us to Christian Forbes, who seemingly is the big fish when it comes to the weapons in this indictment, because the feds are alleging that he engaged in the business of dealing firearms without a license. So they're linking buses, firearm transportations with BRICC Baby's firearm acquisitions. And this is how they prove the interstate and foreign commerce is being played with. They have the man that's bringing the weapons from wherever, out of state, and they have BRICC Baby receiving weapons. But it said in terms of bus, beginning on or before January 5th, 2022, and rolling to March 23rd, 2022, who was not licensed as an importer, manufacturer, or dealer of firearms, willfully engaged in the business of dealing in firearms, specifically to sell. And they have a list and the dates of the firearms that he allegedly sold: a Smith & Wesson M&P 45, a Bersa 380, a Ghost assault rifle, and a Taurus 9mm. Now, usually what this looks like is he sold these guns to somebody that's cooperating with the feds. Now, none of these weapons match the serial numbers of the weapons BRICC Baby got caught with. So we can take him out of the equation of being the one that told on bus. Because as the feds like to do, they love to make controlled buys. And the breakdown of these firearms are a little bit too clean. January 5th, January 12th, February 2nd, and March 10th are documented dates that he sold these firearms to an informant. And again, both of these indictments rely on evidence that ultimately led to an expansion of wiretaps against the Rolling 60s. Now, the feds also allege that.
So this is where it get tricky, right? So Bus, right? Christian Forbes, right? So he took a plea deal. He took a plea deal. I think he took a plea deal for 5 years. Those are four weapons. And he took a plea deal for 5. So that's why I'm like, damn, nigga, you know, where's the fish and where's the bait? Because that's 5 years. And allegedly, he didn't tell on nobody. They just offered him 5 years for 4 guns. That's the case. BRICC Baby could have he don't need no public defender or no lawyer. You had less guns than him. Christian Forbes had 4 guns. BRICC Baby had what, 3? So how would you give him 5 years and not offer him 5 years? You know what I'm saying? So some ain't adding up, man. Some ain't adding up, but we go get into his paperwork. He took a plea deal. Shout out to Seti Nash, man. He caught that. I have a little bit of different, opinion about it because I just don't believe they just go. All right, y'all hear me now? All right, there we go. I just don't, for some reason, gang, I don't believe that they offered, Christian Forbes 5 years for 4 guns. 4 guns off the backboard. You took 5 years and you didn't take note, you didn't snitch or nothing. You just took a plea deal. They would have offered that same situation to BRICC Baby. BRICC Baby had less guns, you see what I'm saying, than Christian Forbes, which is Bus. Except Christian Forbes, a Bus sold to an undercover. You see what I'm saying? So they got you dead bang. They didn't catch BRICC Baby with, selling no pistol. They just found guns on him. That was direct sale that Bus had did. So why would they offer him 5 years just for taking a plea deal and not snitching on anybody? That's why I said, where's the fish and where's the bait, the hook? That's why I say, man, like you want to know why a fish never get caught up on that hook is when he keep his mouth closed. When a fish is in the water and he keep his mouth closed, he don't never got to worry about getting caught by that hook. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying I don't care how you cut it. It's it's not impossible, but why would they offer you 5 years? You ain't snitching on nobody. You got caught with the most guns, and BRICC Baby still sitting up in there, and he only got caught with 3 guns. You see what I'm saying? It just don't add up. Let's go.
Both of these dudes have a serious risk that they might flee if they're let out of custody. We saw Trap Kitchen Monty already out, and there's another person a part of this indictment that we gonna touch on that's already out. But there was a request made for pretrial detention due to the safety of regular members in the community being at risk. because these crimes are considered violent crimes. So we may not see BRICC Baby for some time if he doesn't beat this case. Now, as the feds usually go, we've seen the wiretaps with BRICC Baby. There's always some confidential informants and some people working with the police when you selling something. So this takes us to the next two defendants that went down in Operation Drawdown, Derek Andre Pollard, aka Grimsky, and Zachary Rodriguez Garcia, aka Zeke. Both of these two dudes are on an indictment together, accused of participating in a conspiracy to distribute meth, another count of distribution of meth, and possession with intent to distribute fentanyl, methamphetamine.
We finna get up out of there. So now let's go over to Christian Forbes' plea deal, man. We actually got his docket. Shout out to Steady Nash, man. He actually be grinding, man. I don't know how you do it, but nigga, you be doing that shit, boy. Let's get to the paperwork, man. All right, and let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
So before we get started, I already did the work so that you don't have to. For everybody reacting on YouTube, Clubhouse, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is, I did the work so you don't have to. Let me show you why this video is highly important. Take a look at these 3 dockets, and I'm going to tell you, pay attention to the numbers. But if you forget, I'll bring you along. Check this out. So in the highlighted section of this, right, you have USA versus Mitchell. This is BRICC Baby. On the bottom part right there, I want y'all to say 00576, right? Big U's. 00576. Because y'all know Big U as Henley Jr. Are y'all catching a theme real quick? 00576? Well, if you haven't, show you the first person to plead out. 00576 right there on the right hand corner. Christian Forbes, aka Bus. Why is that important? Well, there you go right there. Bottom right corner, second one. Christian Forbes, aka Bus. Now I know what y'all wondering. Steady Nash, why in the world is this important? Well, he was the first one to plea out. Let's get further into it. So Christian Forbes, aka Bus, is essentially a Cody for Big U and BRICC Baby. Or he just got picked up. What he is known as far as this indictment, I don't know him, I ain't never met him, don't want to meet him. He's known essentially as a gun runner. And since he's a gun runner, it gets interesting. I did the heavy lifting so y'all don't have to. So the YouTube reactions, the TikTok reaction, the Twitter reaction, aka X, the Instagram's reaction, the Clubhouse people and all that, I've done the hard work for you so that you don't have to. He's not in the paperwork, and the guns that he allegedly had are in nobody's paperwork. Now, some of y'all are going to say, well, you know, Steady Nash, he might snitch, he might whatever. The problem with snitching, I want y'all to understand this, is when they snitch, they don't have deals already set up. Goes against everything. But he is the first one to plead out as far as the whole entire RICO, whose name is brought up. So I'm not going to put a snitch jacket on him without any freaking proof. Just like y'all try to put that on BRICC. As far as you can tell in what we read, BRICC has a public defender who doesn't have enough time to review the case. BRICC can literally get an appeal and say, hey, y'all.
Man, hey, I'm not gonna lie, gang. What happened to all that rich crib shit? You feel me? BRICC Baby had a bag when he was on the streets. You see what I'm saying? And this goes back to being a street nigga, man. Hey, make sure you got that lawyer money, homie. You see what I'm saying? Make sure you got some lawyer money. It costs, man, to play ball in these streets. I don't know, man. Don't let this be y'all, man. Learn from other people's mistakes, gang. It's just crazy how a nigga be out here, nigga spending all his chalupa, all his beans, you know what I'm saying, on the streets, buying designer clothes, driving, you know, luxury cars and all that shit, you know, going to casino, you know, blowing all his money, and then a nigga get caught up. And nigga, you got a public defender? Let me tell you something, nigga, you're in the feds, bro. You're in the feds. Their conviction rate is extremely high. So not only do they got him on wiretap, they got BRICC Baby on enough shit to keep him in there. They just pushed his court hearing to October. You see what I'm saying? I don't even know if BRICC Baby got it in him, bro. You feel me? Nigga might wake up one day, man, and be like, guards, come on, man, go on, let me up out of here. Nah, man, not today. Hey, on 6-0. Hey, on 6-0, man, I gotta get up out of here, Jack. Man, I'm tired of eating this little dirty ass food in here, man. You know what I'm saying? I got a girlfriend, I got a wife on the side, and shit, I got my babies out there. Nigga might wake up like, nah, not today. Nah, I'm not doing it today. Come on, guards, let me up out of here. I tell y'all what y'all need to know, man. Nigga hey, I wouldn't be surprised if BRICC, and he ain't telling right now, right? He might stay down. He might stay down, might stay solid. But if he did, he would be the Lil Woody of the West Coast. Because if BRICC Baby snitched and came home, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about him snitching, bro. Man, come on, man. He got a nice little following. He got a young following too. It's only the old heads gonna be like, oh, that nigga ain't no good. Man, I told that nigga, that little dreadhead motherfucker wasn't all good. Yeah, I told JP, man, that nigga, yeah, nigga, he gotta get his brain, he gotta get his dreadlocks done. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, ain't nothing but some men in there that do it for him. You know, and unless he want to sit between another man's legs and let him twist his dreads and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga said, man, by the time I get out of here, I'm gonna have to go to CVS and get medication and shit. Hey man, my Social Security check ain't came, so $5. Oh shit, man! My Social Security check, I spent it all trying to get my new place, man. Just give me my medicine so I can live, and I'll give it to you next week. That's how old that nigga would be if he don't figure this shit out. But you know, on the flip side, man, you got to look at the game from a whole different perspective. You know, you put yourself in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the same way you got in it is the same way you get out. Keep a zip lip, keep your mouth closed, and you stand on your dick. Nigga, stand on your business. You know what I'm saying? But we seen, look at Lil Woody. Lil Woody did that. Look, you know, because I don't know. I seen him, you know, his chemistry with Lil Woody when they did the No Jumper thing. It was like he respected it for some reason. It's just my opinion. You know, nigga lied to him, did some dry snitching, then got out of jail and started saying he don't remember and start saying that crazy ass shit. Man, I think BRICC Baby audience let that nigga snitch and then lie just to save everybody ass in the end and get famous and go home to his family, bro. I don't put nothing past no nigga nowadays, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, because you gotta realize, bro, these niggas, they throwing football numbers now. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is into this fancy designer shit, love to spend money in casinos and, you know, drink Hennessy and bust nuts. Good living. You know what I'm saying? These niggas ain't trying to lose that shit. You know what I'm saying? These niggas don't even hang in the hood anyway. So, I don't know. Let's go.
Sent me up the river with this lawyer who did not have enough time to review my case. You have literally screwed me over. And that is grounds for an appeal, because that's not effective counsel. But as far as bus goes, the guns that he is alleged to have sold, not on anybody's paperwork. I think when they did they big Rico, because it's not a rolling 60s indictment, they just snatched up whoever they needed to snatch up, and certain people were just in the crosshairs. So, without no further ado, let's get into Christian Forbes, aka bus paperwork, because a lot of people think that he's snitching on people, but he already has 5 years already. So who could he tell on? Because they wait for sentencing to see how good of a person you are. Now,
see, that's the thing. How you get 5 years and they caught you with multiple guns? Nigga had semi-automatic weapons. That's illegal in the state of California. How you get 5? That's why I say it's tricky, because, you know, everything is opinion based, right? But it doesn't take a rocket science to say, oh, they just gonna offer you 5 years for 4 guns. Crip Mac got hit with one. Got caught with 1 gun and got 5 years. How do you get less time than Crip Mac and you got caught with multiple guns and ammunition? That don't even add up. That's why I say it's something, it's something tricky there, but everything's opinion based. And, we just gonna see how it play out. Let's go.
Automatic snitching in the feds, you get 33% of your time knocked off. So we will see. But other than that, let's get into it. I don't need to snap. Let's go. Man. Y'all want to get on BRICC and say BRICC is all type of things with no proof. So I'm going to show y'all something real quick. If y'all don't know who Christian Forbes is, Christian Forbes' name is Bus. If you look right here, Bus just took a plea agreement for defendant Christian Forbes. All right. Y'all know how we do, man. It just is what it is. So sit back, relax. I got y'all. And yeah, this constitutes the plea agreement between Christian Forbes, also known as Bus Defendant, and the United States Attorney Office for the Central District of California, the USAO, and the above captioned case. This agreement is limited to the USAO and cannot bind any other federal, state, local, or foreign prosecuting, enforcement, administrative, or regulatory authorities. Defendant's obligations, meaning this is what the man has to do. Defendant agrees to, at the earliest opportunity, requested by the USAO and provided by the court, appear and plead guilty to the single count indictment in United States versus Christian Forbes. All right, with charges, defendant with engaging in the business of dealing firearms without a license in violation of 18 USC 922A1A. No contest facts agreed to in this agreement. Abide by all agreements regarding sentencing contained in this agreement. Appear for all court appearances. Surrender as ordered for service of sentence. Obey all conditions of any bond and obey any other ongoing court order in this matter. Not commit any crime. However, offenses that would be excluded from sentencing purposes under United States Sentencing Guidelines, USSG, or Sentencing Guidelines 4A12C are not within the scope of this agreement. Be truthful at all times with the United States Probation and Pretrial Services Office and the court. Pay the applicable special assessment at or before the time of sentencing unless defendant has demonstrated a lack of ability to pay such assessments. Defendant further agrees to the abandonment to the United States of any interest of the defendant in the following firearms, ammunition, and accessories seized by law enforcement on or about March 23rd, 2022. Glock Model 48 9mm caliber semi-automatic pistol bearing serial number BKNC051 and its gun case. 38 special revolver bearing no serial number, commonly referred to as a ghost gun, approximately 130 rounds of ammunition, 4 firearms, collectively the seized assets.
Yeah, I remember ghost guns, man. How much was the feds giving? How much time was the feds giving you for a ghost gun back in the day? They was what was they trying to hit you with a ghost gun? You see what I'm saying? They was cracking down on ghost guns and switches. You see what I'm saying? So right now they got Bus Christian Forbes with 4 weapons. 4 weapons. You take a plea deal for 5, 15 to 30. How the math ain't mathing. So yeah, I don't know. But they're offering a plea deal. What's the catch? Why would they just throw you a 5-year deal when you cop to 5 guns that they caught you selling to an informant? It's not like they didn't have proof that you had the guns. You sold to an informant. They was able to confiscate them because you bought them. You sold them to one of their informants, or they have them in their possession. They got you dead bang, audio, wiretap, all that, right? Why? So why do they need to give you a plea deal? What are they looking for? They not just throwing no plea deal, man. That shit ain't adding up. That's why I say it's not in the paperwork. But hey, man, like I said, it's opinion based. I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? And you got caught with a ghost gun too, man. Come on, gang. That's multiple guns. So what that was 4 guns. You know what I'm saying? So they gave you 5 years for 4 guns. To me, yeah, man. The feds is up to something, bro. They up to something. Maybe they didn't want to put it in, hit the paperwork now. I don't know. But it ain't mathing, gang. Let's go.
to acknowledge that he is the sole owner of the seized assets and that no other person or entity has an interest in the seized assets, to complete any legal documents, including but not limited to an ATF Form 3401, abandonment, required for the transfer of title to United States, title of the seized assets to the United States. Sorry for that mess up. The USAO's obligations. The USAO agrees to no contest facts agreed to in this agreement, abide by all agreements regarding sentences contained in this agreement at the time of sentencing, provide the defendant demonstrates an acceptance of responsibility for the offense up to and including the time of sentencing, recommended 2-level reduction in the applicable sentence guidelines offense level pursuant to USSG 3E11, and recommend, and if necessary, move for an additional 1-level reduction if available under that section. Nature of the offense. Defendant understands that for defendant to be guilty of the crime charged in count 1, that is engaging in the business of dealing firearms without a license in violation of Title 18, United States Code Section 922A1A, the following must be true. First, defendant will willfully engage in a business of dealing in firearms within the dates specified in the indictment. And second, defendant did not have a license as a firearms dealer. Defendant understands that the statutory maximum sentence that the court can impose for a violation of Title 18, United States Code Section 922A1A is 5 years imprisonment, 3 years period of supervised release, a fine of $250,000 or twice the gross gain or gross loss resulting from the offense, whichever is greatest, and a mandatory special assessment of $100. Oh, wow. Defendant understands that supervised release is a period of time following imprisonment during which defendant will be subject to various restrictions and requirements. Defendant understands that if defendant violates one or more of the conditions of any supervised release imposed, defendant may be returned to prison for all or part of the term of supervised release authorized by statute for the offense that resulted in the term of supervised release, which could result in defendant serving a total term of imprisonment greater than the statutory maximum stated above. Defendant understands that by pleading guilty, defendant may be giving up valuable government benefits and valuable civic rights such as the right to vote, the right to possess a firearm, the right to hold office, and the right to serve on a jury. Defendant understands that he is pleading guilty to a felony and that it is a federal crime for a convicted felon to possess a firearm or ammunition. Defendant understands that conviction in this case may also subject defendant to various other collateral consequences, including but not limited to revocation of probation, parole, or supervised release. In another case, suspension or revocation of a professional license. Defendant understands that unanticipated collateral consequences will not serve as grounds to withdraw defendant's guilty plea. Defendant and his counsel have discussed the fact that, and defendant understands that if defendant is not a United States citizen, the conviction in this case makes it practically inevitable and virtually certainly that defendant will be removed or deported from the United States. Defendant may also be denied United States citizenship and admission to the United States in the future. I don't even care about that. Let's go to factual basis because all that stuff is not even necessary. Factual basis. Defendant admits that defendant is in fact guilty of the offense to which defendant is agreeing to plead guilty. Defendant and the USAO agreed to the statement of facts provided below and agreed that this statement of facts is sufficient to support a plea of guilty to charge described in this agreement and to establish the sentencing guidelines factors set forth. So here we go right here. In or around January 2022, defendant offered to sell a pistol to an individual he believed to be a potential firearms purchaser. On January 5th, 2022, defendant sold the supposed purchaser a Smith & Wesson model M&P 4545 caliber semi-automatic pistol bearing serial number DTA 9701 in exchange for $1,200 on January 12th, 2022. Defendant similarly sold a Versa model 380 caliber, I don't know why I said that, semi-automatic pistol bearing serial number 149497 in exchange for $750. On February 2nd, 2022, defendant similarly sold a semi-automatic rifle ghost gun with a scope and of unknown caliber along with a 60-round drum magazine of PMAG D60 ammunition.
Man, with the nigga, what? 60 round with a scope on it? Come on, gang. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Boy, nigga. Shit, boy. Yeah, they like the devil come knocking at your door. Yeah. They get that little proof. Yeah, they gonna want something in the end, bro. They're gonna want something in the end. That to me is crazy work, man. Nigga, that come on. Come on. And they offering you 5 years? 5 years. What is the minimum time you get caught with? I think Crip Mac took 10 years for one pistol. One. He got cracked with one pistol, and he took a 10-year, 8-year plea, right? Crip Mac been down a couple years. How is it that this dude right here get caught with all these weapons, ammunition, shit with scopes on it and shit? Nigga got a ladder with a dick hanging on that motherfucker, and they throwing that nigga, hey, we feeling generous, man. We want to just give you 5 years, man. You can take the time, you go home. Get the fuck out of here, man. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Let's go.
A 10-round PMag, 10 magazine, and a black case laser attachment in exchange for $1,800 on March 10, 2020. Defendant similarly sold a Taurus model G2S 9mm caliber semi-automatic pistol bearing serial number TLU20146 with 7 rounds of 9mm caliber ammunition in exchange for $1,250 on March 23rd, 2022 in Carson, California. Within the Central District of California, defendant possessed a Glock 9mm semi-automatic pistol and a .38 special revolver, various magazines and ammunition for each firearm, other caliber of ammunition, and a Glock gun box, all of which he possessed with the intent to sell. At the time, defendant sold and possessed with the intent to sell all the foregoing firearms. Defendant did not have a license as a firearms dealer. Defendant made all of the foregoing sales in Los Angeles County within the Central District of California. Sentencing factors. Defendant understands that in determining defendant's sentence, the court is required to calculate the applicable sentencing guidelines and to consider that range. Possible departures under sentencing guideline. We ain't really tripping on none of that. So it says basically he understands he has a criminal history, waiver of constitutional rights. We don't care about that. Waiver of appeal of conviction, meaning basically, you have, I believe it's 30 days with the feds to appeal the decision. And they saying, no, we ain't finna do that. Understands with the exception of an appeal based on a claim that defendant's guilty plea was involuntary. By pleading guilty, defendant is waiving and giving up any right to appeal defendant's conviction on the offenses to which defendant is pleading guilty. Defendant understands that this waiver includes, but is not limited to, arguments that statute to which defendant is pleading guilty is unconstitutional, and any and all claims that the statement of facts provided herein is insufficient to support defendant's guilty plea. Let's go ahead and skip past all this BS. So resolve or withdrawal. Guilty plea, don't care. Effective date of agreement. This agreement is effective upon signature and execution of all required certifications by defendant, defendant's counsel, and an assistant United States attorney. Breach of agreement, basically what he'll do if he mess up. Office, not parties. Defendant understands that the court, United States.
Yeah, I gotta realize this, man. T.I. had millions of dollars tied up in court. He had millions of dollars tied up in court. It's a big difference between you talking about some local little gun runner, you see what I'm saying? And these dudes don't even have no lawyers. These dudes are dealing with public defenders. They're not dealing with multi-million-dollar lawyers. You know what I'm saying? So I see that. But how do we account for, with them? T.I. have millions and millions of dollars for litigation. These dudes is piss poor. You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's crazy because BRICC baby had enough money to bond out, but you don't have enough money for a lawyer. If you got your bond denied, why you just won't go ahead and use that for your legal defense? Because if you fighting this case with a public defender, bro, it's all bad, bro. I don't see, and I think everybody should have a just do. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody should have a fair trial, and all that shit. It's some nasty work going on, nigga, because that should be your nightmare. Nigga, you should be scared to death to be standing against the United States versus your motherfucking black ass, and nigga, and you don't have no real lawyer. You know what I'm talking about? At least a soft 50 ball. You know what I'm saying? 50,000 just up front, probably as the retainer. Nigga, if you want to get a good deal, you're going to need a good lawyer, bro. And shit, and you know how they say, nigga, getting a good lawyer is damn near just might as well have a public defender because they already got you niggas on wiretaps. Audio, wire 3. Yeah, nigga. That's crazy. That's nasty work, bro. Let's go.
Probation and pretrial services are not parties to this. So, yeah, no additional agreements. So this right here, defendant understands, except as set forth herein, There are no promises, understandings, or agreements between the USAO and defendant or defendant's attorney, and that no additional promise, understanding, or agreement may be entered into unless in writing, signed by all parties, or on the record in court. So that's pretty much it for right there. Then you got the certification of the defendant, certification of the defendant's attorneys. So what we didn't see is essentially him agreeing to testify. Now, somebody could say, well, you know, Bus basically sold BRICC the gun, and then he admitted that he was a gun seller. So, I mean, if you want to do it that way, I guess you can. But as far as I'm concerned, he basically said, I sold guns and I sold these guns. Now, they can say, you know, they can double back and say, well, we know for sure that he bought this gun from this person. But once again, I don't see, I don't see anywhere where it says that. So even on the sentencing, right, it doesn't say, we're going to push it back. They already basically said you're getting 5 years. Typically, when somebody is testifying or going to testify, they get held back, right? So you see the sentencing factors right here. Defendant in the USAO agrees to the following based on level 12, 3 to 7 firearms plus 2, variance -2, defendant. See the rights, the argument.
By him admitting to selling, BRICC Baby the gun, you know what I'm saying? That hinders. You got to look at that hinders BRICC Baby defense, because Christian Forbes already confirmed. He already admitted that he sold BRICC Baby the gun. They already got the gun in possession. They used the gun against BRICC Baby to get to Big U. You know what I'm saying? That's his only 2 co-defendants. So they're trying to. This is the operation, drawdown. So they trying to knock Big U off the scoreboard. Now that fucking Christian Forbes confirmed that he sold BRICC. Now that Christian Forbes confirmed that he sold BRICC Baby the pistol, you see what I'm saying? It's no way that BRICC Baby could deny the fact that he bought the gun from him, because Christian Forbes, aka Bus, already confirmed that he sold the gun to BRICC Baby, right? So there you go. BRICC Baby have no other way but to take his gun charges as well, because they already caught it in your possession. They got you on a wiretap. You see what I'm saying? So everybody, they're going to use BRICC Baby to knock down Big U. Now, only way I see this, unless BRICC Baby just take whatever time they give them on the chin and zip lip. That's it. Because think about it. Christian Forbes admitted to selling BRICC Baby the guns. BRICC Baby, we know you had the guns. They got you on a wiretap, right? They also got Loose Cannon saying, what did Loose Cannon say? Allegedly, Loose Cannon said that Big U was passing out guns to his homeboys. They got all of that shit tied up. Now, just like they gave Christian Forbes a plea deal, what you think they gonna do with him? Right now, I think BRICC Baby trying to wait it out. He trying to see if he can, get his public defender to get brought up to speed and see if they can come up with a proper defense, because it looks like BRICC Baby gonna try to go 12 in the box with this. If he go 12 in the box with this, if he take it to trial, it's gonna be ugly. So I mean, shit. It's gonna be bad, man. And you see how tricky this game is, because it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. You're fucked. You're fucked. And all this talking on the internet and doing these podcasts and shit ain't making no bread behind that shit. You need to be focusing on your case, your legal defense. You gotta focus on how are you gonna scale, not compromising your integrity by snitching and figuring out a way to find a loophole to get up out of this. You see what I'm saying? Because right now, this man just took 5 years. I highly doubt they're going to be dropping, coming down and coming. They just not throwing no deals and not getting nothing in return. Them people didn't spend all them hours doing wiretaps and surveillance and audio and all this type of shit, you know what I'm saying? To be giving y'all niggas low time, nigga. That was a waste of government money, taxpayers' money and shit. Come on, gang. Something finna happen. Something ain't right. I hope, every man that go through something like this, they have their fair, just doing in court. But just imagine he trying to take this shit to trial. They already got you on the guns. Christian Forbes already told them people that he sold you the guns. So how you going to deny that? And you're on wiretap with the purchase. So how do you deny that? They offered him 5 years. So next thing I would think or assume that they go up. Because what's the minimum? 10 to 15 years? for a gun, they already gave their first deal. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it get tricky, man. BRICC baby need to focus on what he got to do to get up out of there. Let's go.
Your additional specific offenses, characteristic adjustments. So you don't see any of that. They wouldn't put all of that in there. Now, somebody may take this and go, oh, Seti Nash, no, bro. He's telling. I'm going to be fair. If he was going to tell, it would be in there.
All right, we going to get up out of there, man.
Before we get started,
hold on.
Did the work so that you don't have to.
Wait, damn.
Reacting on YouTube.
So they got him buying that gun, man. So right now, I know, BRICC baby think he don't got action, but man, nigga, if they offer you 10, 15 years for them guns and you don't got to snitch on nobody, take that deal, do your time, you know what I'm saying, chest out, chin up, nigga, and get on home to your family, man. I pop a lot of shit, but at the same time, man, it's all about being a critical thinker and just being smart about it, man, and never snitch, man. Keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? But on that note, man, shout out to everybody pull it up, man. It's about that time we wrap it up, and I'm going to see you on the next video. Let's go.
I know how to shoot, I know how to fight. I tell you once, don't tell you twice. And I'm real discreet, the thief in the night. Yeah. If I call you.